Remember when we had answering machines? We could leave a message. They could call us back. Now it's just words on a screen. And today got me thinking, because I've noticed something recently between myself and people close to me who I contact. And every person seems to do the same thing, and they put words on a screen to ask when it's okay to call. That's strange, right? Well, I guess that's the way of the world, but like we are our own personal answering machines. And it seems to be so much easier to put words on a screen, right? To put the emojis on the screen, to send the gifts, rather than to be vulnerable and to call and to either get the person on the phone or to even leave a message, a real voice, a real human voice for the other person. I think there's something we really have lost here. I mean, it's been really convenient, and I'm not going to say that I'm not just as guilty as the next person as far as settling into texting and messaging. But there's something about that convenience that has really taken away from our vulnerability, I think. We don't want to call and interrupt somebody, be a bother, distraction, when we can just type some words on a screen, right? There's something that's really lost there. You know, because words on a screen, you don't hear the voice, you don't hear the inflection, you don't have a flow of conversation. You don't really experience the listening and the speaking, you know. You know, it's hard enough to not be there with the person and to want to talk to the person in person. But the choice between typing out a message and actually talking on the phone is two totally different things. And it goes two totally different ways. Our hands can't type as fast as we can speak, you know, and there's something about the voice of another that is like a melody, like a tune to the flow, to human connection. And there's something really important there. So today, when I was messaging a family member of mine and messaging them to ask for permission to call them on the phone, and realizing that other people do that for me, I really have to stop and ask, why are we doing that? What are we doing? Why do we do that? Because at one time it was okay to just call and either they answer or they don't. And you could leave a message and they can call back. But now it's just this this feeling of protection and really not connection at all. And I want to say that it's, well, that's really considerate to ask somebody, hey, is it okay to call? But I think that we are all just so isolated and this place of having control that we don't even naturally call and talk on the phone. I don't know. I think it's strange. But like I said, I'm just as guilty as the next person. I do the same thing. But I think there's something really important about hearing a human voice and being vulnerable and taking the risk of reaching out in that way and connecting in that way. And I think it's really super important now more than ever that we continue to do that. And I guess if we have to ask for permission, let's do that. But definitely follow through with it. Which today, we followed through with it. And I was happy. I was happy to talk to a family member on the phone. I was happy that we spent that time talking, hearing each other's voices, back and forth, give and take. It's something that you can't get through words on a screen, through emojis and GIFs on a screen. You can't get that. We got to get back to connection. We got to get back to each other. And we have to stop asking for permission to do it. Okay? It's important that we stay connected. Really connected. Not through some fucking wires. And not through some screen. And not through letters and symbols and memes and fill in the blank. Being vulnerable. Being human. Reaching out. Connecting. Remembering what that's like. It seems like we are all now our own personal answering machines, picking and choosing what we're going to respond to, what we're not going to respond to. And I suppose that's what we have to do, and I suppose that's all fine and good, but really, if you can't be in person with somebody, at least hear somebody on the phone, At least take the call. Call them back. Hear a voice. Have that conversation. Have that connection. You know, the way things seem to be going is there could be a time where we don't even know if we are talking to the person that we're talking to, if it's all just words on a screen. You know, that's already happening. Look at ChatGPT. Look at AI. Look at that capability. It's important to remember to take the time, to take the call, to make the call. And it's not always going to be convenient, you know. Life is not convenient. But we got to get back to what's real, you know. We got to get back to what's real. And we've got to make that effort.